Coverage tonight. Forewarned Chief Meteorologist Matt Grode tracking today's triple-digit temperatures. And News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has more on how this heat has turned deadly. But first, let's hand things over to forewarned meteorologist Daniel McFarland, who joins us live with more on these record-breaking numbers. Daniel.
Sean, about the last month and a half, we've seen some very hot temperatures out there. Every single day for almost the last 50 days has had a high over 100, and that's not the only record that we saw break during that time. Here are a list of the top 5 hottest months on average since recording began here back in 1895. Last month was the warmest by a large margin. Lots of high pressure nearby Tucson and dry air is what drives our temperatures to be as warm as what we saw.
Well, for one, it's July. It's the hottest month in the calendar year, right? And then the other more important reason, I think, is because high pressure that's usually in the Four Corners or east of the state of Arizona was sitting right on top of us. Anytime that happens, it compresses, it squeezes the air, and it warms it up.
One other thing of note when it comes to the hottest months is that both second and third place happened back-to-back in 2020. That year, we saw the most amount of 100-degree days and also less monsoon activity that year. So we are on track to have a much better monsoon, at least, than 2020.
And the difference is that, you know what, we really are paying Mother Nature back now. June was, for the most part, pretty cool. It's really just July that was so hot. And on top of that, if we compare it to 2020, when we had, the second driest monsoon on record, at least despite being the hottest month on record, you know what? We wound up with 2 inches of rain, which is really not that far below average for July.
Another thing of note is that temperatures tend to peak in the month of July, particularly in the first half of the month. What was different this July is that we saw 8 straight days with high temperatures over 110, which was a record, and 14 days over 110 overall. We did not see an afternoon high below 100 degrees or an overnight low below 70 at all during July. And another takeaway I had is that early part of June, we saw temperatures staying below 100 degrees a lot longer than they otherwise should have. In fact, Sean and I were talking in early June, talking about how nice it was. And Sean, I think about at this point, we're eating our words there.